Hello everyone. First of all, happy Ganesh Chaturthi to all of you, and may God bless you all with lot of happiness, peace, prosperity, success and what not. So keep working very hard. Do seek the blessings of God or the spiritual power in whomsoever you believe, of your parents, and let's channelize all the positive energy within you from us for your success in that particular direction. Okay, so we wish you a happy Ganesh Chaturthi. We wish you happy festival. Okay, so welcome back to another video on Elite Academy, and welcome back to our daily issue analysis there. So today again we have come up with more very important, very pressing issue which we have been facing since ages, which we have been facing even post independence, and today also it is one of the very big or a challenging situation, a challenging issue for our society. So let's see what is that topic. So today we have taken this topic of caste-based discrimination, and we all know why it is in news. It was in news because of the death of the Dalit boy from Jalore district in Rajasthan, and this after the death, the Jalore district is witnessing protest and demonstration by the rival groups, and it is over the death of 9-year-old boy Inder Megwal in Jalore district, and on August 13 he succumbed to the injuries which was caused by an assault by his school teacher, and the boy's family is living in fear because the village is apprehending an attack by the by the crowds belonging to the higher caste. So now, as you can see, the person in the screen sitting beside the chair, he's the father of that 9-year-old boy, and now he's in constant fear that the upper caste people might attack. Okay, because the upper caste people, they have come up in support of the teacher who belongs to upper caste, and they are saying, the police has also said that no, it is some other enmity issue and it is not a caste based issue. Okay, so this is why we are discussing that why caste still persists in India. What is the whole issue? What is the status of caste-based discrimination in India? What is the impact? What all the steps we have taken, and what should be the way forward? So let's analyze it. Now let's analyze the status of caste-based discrimination in India. So this was from one of the write-up that victims of bias, and especially this is from Rajasthan, and major incidents. If you see the heading written below the three red dots, major incidents of crimes against Dalits in 2022. So on August 10, we had a 32-year-old Dalit woman teacher was set afire in Jaipur, Raisar village. She died during her treatment. This year on June 9th, a 14-year-old Dalit boy in Barmer district was beaten up with iron rods by his upper caste employers for being absent from work, child labor. From May 22, a 35-year-old Dalit man was starved, kept in chained in cattle shed and assaulted over 31 hours for failing to honor a pledge. So a pledge, child labor, and then women Dalit teacher. Okay. Then there is another issue of Dalit woman in Dholpur district was gang raped by 6 men in front of her children. So children are there, but still atrocities. And as you can see the person in the screen, Jitendra Megwal, a health worker, was stabbed to death in Pali district for sporting a mustache. As you can see his mustache. So even for keeping a mustache, he was stabbed to death. So these are the incidents from 2022 itself. So we have Dalit activist Pezwada Wilson. He says that छुआछूत रोज किसी मासूम की जान लेता है. Untouchability kills innocent people, innocents every day. Hashtag stop killing us. Hashtag Dalit lives matter. Another aspect of status of caste-based discrimination in India we shall discuss is the first one being untouchable. So basically, the Dalit people, they are considered as the on the lowest rung of India's century-old caste hierarchy. So they are considered as impure by Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vash, and Shudras. So Dalits are basically, they are looked upon as outcast people and those who fall outside the caste category. So this is one aspect of the status of social behavior and social understanding. If we understand it with the help of data, then we have data by NCRB, that is National Crime Records Bureau. So according to them, 5 atrocities are being committed against Dalits per hour. Okay, so this is one aspect. And the other one they have analyzed is that between 2018 to 2020, there were approx 1,30,000 anti-Dalit crimes were registered. Okay, and the highest number of anti-Dalit crimes were reported from Uttar Pradesh, somewhere around 36,000, followed by Bihar 20,000, and Rajasthan around 18,000. Okay, so this is about NCRB data showing the intensity, gravity, and the nature of the crimes, that how it is widespread across states. Okay, then we have widespread across country. So this is another aspect of the status or nature, if we say. So you take the example of gang rape and murder of a Dalit girl by four upper caste men in Hathras, Tamil Nadu, Dharmapuri. 2 3 years back, it was all, it always some or the other news will be there from Tamil Nadu with respect to the caste based discrimination. Few days back, I was reading one newspaper article where it was written that one MLA or MP, some mayor of some city, she decides to conduct one sports activity, and she thought that okay, we will make a team, and that there will be various teams who will participate in that game, in that particular sports, and the team will be divided on the basis of upper caste, lower caste, Savarns, Brahmins. So caste based, SC, ST caste based teams will be there. Then a lot of opposition was there from on social media. Then finally she told no, there was an intention was good. Then finally it was taken back. So Tamil Nadu is also struggling with caste based discriminations. Maharashtra, Karegaon, Rajasthan specifically we are discussing because of Rajasthan only. So this nature or the status is that it is spread across the country. Next, United Nation, if we say, then United Nation considers it as a modern day slavery. So they say that child labor, caste based discrimination, and poverty are closely interlinked in India. So these three, whenever you are writing, take the help of the United Nation, that they consider child labor, caste based discrimination, and poverty, they are interlinked. And according to United Nations, it highlights the contemporary form of slavery where severe discrimination against the Dalit people and especially against Dalit women in South Asia is being experienced, and which is systematically denying them the choices and the freedom in all the spheres of the life. So it is a modern day slavery where child labor, caste based discrimination, and poverty are interlinked according to United Nations. Also, if we analyze with respect to the ownership of farms and firms, then our scheduled caste people, they are deeply in deep distress, and they lag behind in the ownership of productive resources in farming or the firms in food and beverages. So their ownership is very low when we compare it with the national average or average of the other social group. Okay, so this is another aspect. Also, there are special budgets in place in India. Scheduled caste and scheduled tribes sub plans are there. TSP is there. SC SP is there. Sub plans are there, which are meant to support the welfare of these marginalized groups. However, repeatedly the documentation tells that the money budgeted for Dalits and Adivasi is diverted to some other unrelated post, or the diversion is happening in such special from the special budgets. For example, 60% was diverted in 2014. Okay, so such kind of divergence are happening from the special budgets also. So here we have tried to keep some political aspect, economic aspect, international aspect, from budget political aspect, crime aspect. So this gives you overview of that what is the status of the caste based discrimination in India and its impact. Now we will discuss the causes, that why it still persists in India. Now we will understand that why caste still persists. Then we will be able to develop this interlinking, that the caste still persists because of which the caste based discriminations are there. So we have a historical legacy. You talk about the ancient time, cultural aspect, religious aspect is there. So there are sanctions, there are scriptures with the help of which people say that this rigid hierarchy is valid and it is age old tradition. It has a historical legacy since it is a part of our system, our society since ancient time. So it has a deep backing. Okay, The second issue is that it persists because it is deeply rooted. So if we take the help of the story, because of which we are discussing this issue, so the boy Inder, he uses the earthen pot, the pitcher of water, for drinking water, which was supposed to be used by only people from the upper caste. Now, similar story was there 100 years back, 1922, when Jagjeevan Ram, he also uh, he also wanted to drink water, but that time also there were two different pitchers, one for upper caste people, one for lower caste people. That time he opposed this tradition, and people say that it was a miracle that his life was saved, unlike Indra, because that time he also opposed it, and a lot of he got support of the people from surrounding and mobilization. Already the freedom struggle movement was going on, so he was able to raise his voice against such discriminatory practices. But now, in today's case, like after 100 years, 1922 also, if we see, the same cases are getting, and now the violence is there after that. If the person has used or the person has drank water from that, then the people from upper caste, they are committing violence, they are doing violence, right? So even though whatever was the story, why we are saying it is deeply rooted, that even though we are after 75 years of independence, we are empowered politically, technologically, everything, socially, sociologically also, we are more empowered, thought process, education wise. Even though all these forces are there, but still if we are experiencing this even after 100 year of the incident of Babu Jagjeevan Ram, because it is deeply rooted, it is deeply rooted in our behavior, in our practices, it has become habit to some extent. Okay. Another aspect is that acceptance of caste as a custom and tradition. So it has been observed that people from Dalit community or people from lower caste, they, even if they are going to temples, they will not touch the idols, they will not touch the pious or sacred areas, sacred items, because they think that okay, it is part of their custom, they are not supposed to touch it. On the other hand, the people from upper caste, they feel that such discriminatory practices are part of their tradition. So this acceptance is there in within people, within the upper caste people, that okay, this discriminatory practice is part of tradition and we are not doing it. ये तो हमेशा से होता है, तो अभी भी हो रहा है, इसमें कोई बुराई नहीं है, ठीक है. And for them, the people who are doing it or who are facing such discrimination, they have accepted it as a part of their custom. So these are few of the reasons because of which it still persists. Now we will see another set of reasons. Now we will analyze another set of reasons that why caste still persists. So atrocities by dominant caste. So yes, we have seen that the caste still persists because there will be atrocities by dominant caste people, and thus that such atrocities lead to fear among people, and chup chap they follow whatever the caste practices are there and they don't oppose much. So atrocities are also becoming reasons for caste based discrimination, and it is impact and it is a cause as well. So it has been observed that sometimes from Rajasthan it was observed that if any particular OBC community is also there, they will not cut the hair of the people from Dalit community because they say that we cannot touch you people. Dalit grooms. It has been observed that in Rajasthan, Dalit grooms, they are not allowed. They don't have any authority or any right to ride on a horse, sit on a horse during their wedding. In 2009, 19, when I still remember that time I read this news in the Hindu. In 2019, a groom from again from Meghwal community itself in Bikaner was beaten up by the upper caste people for riding a horse on his wedding day. Not only that, not just horses, even a sherwani can invite death threats in the certain areas of Rajasthan. So it has been observed. So Dalits in Rajasthan have been killed over such issues by the dominant caste people of sporting a mustache, as we have seen in the starting, like the example of the person from the Meghwal community, Jitendra Meghwal. Okay, and if we talk about the horses or the sherwanis, so such petty issues will lead to atrocities, will lead to violence by the dominant caste people. Okay, and whenever such things will be there, it will be not supported by police, poor support by police. So police immediately arrest, however they will arrest the accused, but they deny any caste angle to such attacks. Rather they call it some old case of enmity. So they never report it as a caste based discrimination in practice. So maybe because of the political pressure, or even if we analyze this movie, was there in Article 15 also it was shown that any case against the, if I'm a police officer, I'm sitting inside the thana, then I will not report, I will not lodge a complaint against the dominant caste people who are there in the village, because मैं भी उसी गांव का हूँ, वो भी उसी गांव के हैं और वो डोमिनेंट हैं, तो हम या तो फेयर में नहीं करते हैं या तो हम कास्ट सेम कास्ट के हैं सपोर्ट करते हैं, तो इसलिए नहीं करते हैं. If you take the example of the gang rape and murder of the Dalit girl by four upper caste men in Hathras, Uttar Pradesh, that time also the Uttar Pradesh police even forcefully they tried to burn the body of the rape victim in the middle of the night to destroy the violence. तो ऐसे भी पुलिस जो है इंटरफेयर कर देती है. So there is poor support by police. Okay, and this you can get from Article 15 as well, movie, the Article 15 movie. So whenever you are talking about movies, yes, definitely we can quote such movies, we can quote instances from the movies, because ultimately movies they reflect social reality. So quote karo, koi problem nahi hai. Okay. Next issue is that social institutions in place, they are there. Social institutions like khap panchayat. So you take the example of Rajasthan or Haryana, they are feudal state, and there is no doubt about it that how strong these social institutions are, especially the panchayats. They are mostly governed by the people from the upper caste, Thakurs and Rajputs. Okay, so they work as a kangaroo court. Kangaroo court, as the upper caste have control over the economic resources, so all decisions will be taken by the upper caste people only. Okay, and the people of from the so-called lower caste or Dalit community, they don't oppose much because they don't want to get outcast. Okay, so these are another set of reasons. Now we will discuss few more. So other reasons are the caste-based politics. It is deeply rooted. So we know that there is a vote bank politics revolving around the caste dynamics. So you take Mahagathbandhan, Brahman Mahasabha, Dalit Mahasabha. So we have seen that our politics itself is capitalizing, and they, maybe you can say that कि वो चाहते हैं कि ये caste बना रहे, so that they will get their due votes, they will get their due positions. So caste based politics, for and especially this practice of vote bank politics is very deeply rooted, and it is capitalizing such caste differences, and it is one of the reason that why caste still persist. Also, if we analyze the other reason, occupational division is there. Occupational division, we have seen that in many places in the country, especially in the urban places, and definitely in rural areas, तो होता ही होता है. So, what is there that today caste determines person's occupation. Labor is an obligation, not a choice. So even this was pointed out by Dr. B. R. Ambedkar, that caste is the division of the laborers, not labor, right? So he analyzed that. So you can note down this point. I will repeat it again. Dr. Ambedkar told that caste is the division of laborers, not labor. क्योंकि लेबर तो फिक्स होता है. So it has been observed that certain works related to tannery or leather related work, or the menial works like cleaning, sanitation, manual scavenging. So such jobs are still reserved for people from the lower caste. Nobody else does that work, or the garbage work, the manual work. Okay, so these works, ये काम जितने भी हैं ये रिजर्व किए गए हैं कि ये पर्टिकुलर ऑक्यूपेशन तो इज मेड फॉर दैट पीपल फ्रॉम दैट पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी इटसेल्फ. Okay, and not only that, even if it is reserved, they get very low wages that will be hardly sufficient for them. We have seen that how it will lead to problems of hazardous work, is leading to problem of deaths, manhole deaths are happening. So these are the reasons. Another set of reason is the failure of our credit institution, which is leading to lack of access to capital. So long back, I think in 2013, I was reading this article in Indian Express where the writer told that why caste still persists. So they highlighted this issue that our financial institutions have failed to provide collateral free loans to people from the lower caste, since they have very poor ownership of land or poor ownership of firm that we have already seen in their status. So how they can provide the collaterals, how they can provide the backup of any collateral. So our credit institutions have failed in one way because of the collateral requirement. So they have failed to provide credit or capital to the people from vulnerable section, especially the SC ST and OBC, सोशो इकोनॉमिकली बैकवर्ड पीपल. ठीक है, तो एक तो ये रीज़न. दूसरा उन्होंने बताया कि Also, sometimes what happen that whenever such people they come to urban places and they are doing particular job, so when they go back and they go back to their villages, the people in their village, their community, they will ask them कि मेरे लिए भी कोई जॉब हो तो बताओ. तो फाइनली जो बंदा अगर दलित कम्युनिटी का है और वो अर्बन एरिया में काम कर रहा है तो किसको वापस लेके आएगा गांव से? उसी को लेके आएगा जो उसकी कम्युनिटी का है, राइट. एंड हमने देखा कि अर्बन एरियाज में कुछ जॉब्स जो हैं केवल स्पेसिफिक कम्युनिटी के लिए, लोगों के लिए रिजर्व रखी हुई हैं कि भाई ये वही कर सकते हैं. So this is also, so the labor reform or the occupational division which is there in the urban areas, it is strictly along the caste lines. So that's why it is still persist. Okay, that we have already discussed. And the failure of institutions, of the credit financial institutions. So whenever they are in need of money, where they will go? They will go to the people of their community, because if they are going to money lender will again charge hefty amount. So what people are doing, they are going back, they are depending upon the people from their own community. So caste still persist. उनको पता है कि भाई मेरे ही कास्ट का बंदा, मेरे ही कम्युनिटी का बंदा मुझे हेल्प करेगा. So they don't go outside. So this way it becomes a closed group, and the nature becomes a closed group. So these are the 9 or 10 reasons we have discussed that why caste still persists. Still there are, if any other reasons, you can pull out in the comment section. Okay, now we will discuss the impact and the way forward. Now we will discuss about the impact of the caste based discrimination in India. So if we talk about the impact, then the first impact is that if somebody is losing out life or they have to face the discrimination, it is against the dignity and the right to life and of an individual under Article 21. So it is a violation of the fundamental right. Also, dropout rates, it has been observed that dropout rates are increasing in the institutions if somebody, because if let's say if I am a person from Dalit community and if I am I am facing discrimination at the workplace by the people, by the students, by the teachers, by the parents, then why will I go to the school? So it has been observed in the past that due to the caste discriminations, there are various girls and children who have dropped out from the school. So there was this was given in the newspaper that a child laborer in Bihar, he was giving the interview that how the people from the lower caste are always being exploited, and with the instances of separate drinking water, or the girls are made to sweep the classrooms forcefully. They are they are being asked to sit separately inside the class. Okay, or even at the games, whenever they are playing games, they are asked not to touch the things. So it is leading to dropout rates, increase in the dropouts rate. So whenever we are talking about education, there also we can write that caste based discrimination is also one of the reasons for the dropout rates in the schools. Okay, and especially in the rural areas. So they are facing discrimination, discriminatory practices, prejudice, stereotypes are there as against a specific community, against a specific caste, people from the specific caste. So discrimination is happening. So first it's stereotyping, prejudice is there, and based on that discrimination is happening. So howsoever the caste based discrimination is broad topic, we are discussing the impact. So discriminatory practices are there, they are not allowed to enter the temples, they are not allowed to walk on any particular road. So I remember, I guess in 2021 I was reading newspaper. So there it was written in Mysore, one road was built by the Lingayat community taking the help of people from Dalit community as well in Mysore. But the people from the Dalit community, they were not allowed to walk on that road. So how unfair it is. आपने हेल्प तो ले ली मेरी, हमारी हेल्प लेके आपने रोड भी बना लिया, बट अब मुझे ही वॉक करने की उस पर इजाज़त नहीं है. There was another practice from Kopala district of Karnataka, that there were people who were worshipping outside the temple. So even the people from upper caste, dominant caste, everybody was there, and people from the lower caste also were there. So what happened? Everybody was praying, and there was a kid, 2 years or 3 years old kid was there. अब बच्चे क्या होते हैं, बच्चे एक्साइटेड होके उछलते कूदते वो मंदिर के अंदर चला गया, राइट. Because of this, the people from the priest जो वहाँ के थे, they imposed a fine of 25,000 rupees on the couple, that how since your son has entered the temple, अभी impure हो गया, so we have to do purification homa. So such discriminatory practices are there, right. तो ये problem है. Another impact is just that because of such issues, be it the caste-based discrimination leads to bonded labor, no education, poor education, poor health facilities, the social overall morale will be low, the self-esteem will be low, so it leads to disempowerment. Okay, and ultimately it denies choice and freedom to the individual. With respect to occupation, also, if we analyze the impact, it leads to bonded labor, forced bonded labor, and forced child labor. People will be pushed into this because of the they belong to any specific particular caste and or because of the poverty. Also, denial of basic services is happening. Such people are not even being given in today's case only. Why in whatever context we are discussing the story, the whole issue, the boy was not allowed to drink water from a particular pitcher. It was a denial of basic service. If you're going to a school, you need to be treated uniformly. So it is a denial of basic service. Okay. So such kind of practices are also there. And it is against, if we analyze, it is against the constitutional morality. So time to time Supreme Court also has analyzed the ethos, the values of the constitution. So whatever our constitution is talking about, social justice, economic justice, or the political justice, so it is against the constitutional morality of our constitution, Indian constitution. And thus, if we analyze from DPSP point of view, if we analyze from the thinkers, moral thinkers point of view, then it is the failure of the social contract जिसमें people are submitting their rights, and our rulers, our representatives, they need to take care of our rights, they need to take care of our needs. So it is also a failure of social contract. So this is the impact. So with this, I think you can write good answer. Try to give a touch of GS 1 2 3 4, your observation, examples, data, keywords, ethical jargons, thinkers. So keep a mix of it, then such answers will look more holistic. So with respect to the caste-based discrimination, let's understand that what all steps has been taken. So starting with the constitution itself, we have abolished untouchability. So untouchability was abolished under Article 17. Now it is illegal and punishable law. Also under the Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. After this was followed by the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. So there are provisions of a special court, stringent punishments for under this act. So that is there, and also reservation has been extended under Article 15 and 16 for the education purposes or for the employment purposes in the government institutions and government offices. So that is also empowering because it helps in mobility, social mobility. And government has time to time come up with financial inclusion like priority sector lending or Mudra scheme or the Stand Up India, where the special focus is on the vulnerable section like the people from SC/ST community or women. So these steps has been taken. Other than these, the modern forces, if we talk about the urbanization or the globalization or the social media, such modern forces, they are providing the scope of the social mobility, especially people from the Dalit community or the weaker section, if we say, they have the scope of moving towards the urban areas. And we have seen that in urban places or in the globalized world, such discriminations are less, or the line of the caste based discrimination is getting blurred. However, we cannot say that it is not there. It is definitely there. In urban areas also it is there, but the line is getting thinner and thinner year after year. It is getting thinner, but even after globalization, we have seen the caste-based discriminatory practices are there within the IT companies in USA also. So that has led to uh, bring change and modification in the code of conduct of the organization. So these are the steps taken, and there are various other steps you can categorize under the legislative or the executive actions or the technological. So that way you can categorize. Okay. So with respect to the caste-based discrimination, let's understand that what all steps has been taken. So starting with the constitution itself, we have abolished untouchability. So untouchability was abolished under Article 17. Now it is illegal and punishable law. Also under the Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. After this was followed by the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. So there are provisions of a special court, stringent punishments for under this act. So that is there, and also Reservation the has been extended reservation has been extended under article 15 and 16 for the education purposes or for the employment purposes in the government institutions and government offices. So that is also empowering because it helps in mobility, social mobility. And government has time to time come up with financial inclusion like priority sector lending or mudra scheme or the stand up india, where the special focus is on the vulnerable section, the people from SC/ST community or women. So these steps has been taken. Other than these, the modern forces, if we talk about the urbanization or the globalization or the social media, such modern forces, they are providing the scope of the social mobility, especially people from the dalit community or the weaker section, if we say, they have the scope of moving towards the urban areas. And we have seen that in urban places or in the globalized world, such discriminations are less, or the line of the caste based discrimination is getting blurred. However, we cannot say that it is not there. It is definitely there. In urban areas also it is there, but the line is getting thinner and thinner year after year. It is getting thinner, but even after globalization, we have seen the caste-based discriminatory practices are there within the IT companies in USA also. So this has that has led to bring change and modification in the code of conduct of the organization. So these are the steps taken, and there are various other steps you can categorize under the legislative or the executive actions or the technological. So that way you can categorize. Okay. Now let's talk about the way forward. So talking about way forward, there are multiple way forwards. So but yet for your from answer point of view, we should know. So the first you can see, you can write this unique point I got is that a recognition of their services as essential service. So what happened that most of the time as the providers of essential services, the sanitation workers, they are not recognized like doctors, or they are not recognized like other service providers. So the article was talking about that sanitation workers should be paid wages similar to doctors, and not only payment, we need to pay them respect as well. So for now, what is happening? We are paying them less, and even though they are working, their work, if we say it is a hazardous work, and we are ignoring their deaths in the manholes. So recognition, so that not only wages, we also provide them respect. Other aspect is that we should have zero tolerance for the caste prejudices, and it has been observed that such prejudices were so deeply rooted that even the companies were struggling with this. They were getting complaints. The Apple, Google, and the other technical technology firms in USA, they were facing such problems. So finally, Apple had to modify the code of conduct of the company, and they had to add that they have 18 categories that they do not promote discrimination in recruitment, training, hiring, promotion, or any way. They don't discriminate people on the basis of race, color, ancestry, or national origin. Now they have added caste also as one of the clause, that they don't promote any kind of discrimination, be it in recruitment, training, hiring, or anywhere. So they are showing zero tolerance for caste prejudice. So see how deeply rooted it is that even the companies in USA, they are facing it, and they have to finally modify their code of conduct also. So we should have zero tolerance for the caste prejudices, and such private organizations, private institutions can play very crucial role in propagating such values. Also, fair share, we have seen that in budget, the budgetary allocation for the welfare of the people from SC/ST, it is declining. So fair share should be there in the budget, and whatever is not being used should be utilized. It should not be diverted for other purposes. So this is another aspect. You talk from political will point of view, that for example, what is happening everywhere, the political parties just they are using the caste based practices or the discrimination or these hierarchy for their vote bank politics. So we need to have a political will to end this. Okay, and for that, what is required, we need to have bring attitudinal change. So why Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was successful, or for that matter, within all of us as a citizen, we have this curiosity. नहीं, मोदी जी ने ये scheme चलाई है, मोदी जी ने ये, our government is doing this sanitation, it is for the country, it is for the image of the country, it is for the health of the individuals. So we are also doing our bit to make the whole movement successful. So why can't we have a movement, why can't we have a political will which will help us in nudging or bringing attitudinal change, that we need to reduce, we need to end such caste based discriminatory practices. And in that uh, sequence only, even our Dr. Ambedkar told that political democracy can be sustained only when we will have social democracy. So those who have attended my ethics classes, there under when we discuss the moral thinkers and philosophers from India in unit 5, there I have discussed in detail about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, that how democracy is the dynamic attitude, right, of social cohesion, right? So we need to incorporate such practices. Just having it in the constitution will not help. We need to incorporate in our behavior. Okay, so write these points which will be holistic in nature. It should touch all the aspects. So more than this 5 6 points if you write in your answers, then it will be good. It will be a good conclusion that you are touching all the dimensions. Okay, so that is all for caste based discrimination. Hope you got very good perspective. Even people from anthropology background and sociology background, you must have got very good perspective and good points, good observation for the arguments for analysis. So make use of it. Take the help of our handwritten notes. And yes, now also tell your friends in your friend circle, ask them to go through our video. Those who are in need, it will help them. Okay, so take care guys, and happy Ganesh Chaturthi to all of you again. We will meet in another video. Take care. Bye bye.